Hello, good day. My name is Oswaldo González Roman, and this is my project of fifth quarter. In this page, we see a one login created with Angular connected a Firebase. In this case, we use authentication. This one functionality of Firebase. In this part, we see a navbar and one tire with labels, inputs, and buttons with functions. The button ingresar does the connection with the Firebase to validate the values in the input, add the values in the database. And the ingresar con Google, he does a log in the page with one user of Google. In this case, we use two buttons, and this button is to log out the user of the application. Okay, we start. In the mail, we have a Roman Jair, gmail.com. In password, we have 654321, and we click ingresar. We can see the user in the bar of this site with one icon, and the user has connected. In this case, I click the button logout. This user is kid of this part of navbar. Okay. In this case, we use ingresar con Google because I have two different users, and I do click. We open a mini page to connect Google and receive the credentials. We see the user. In this case, is similarly the other user, but in this case, we have a 36. I click the logout, and it's all. We see a code. In the code, we see the imports necessary for have the database in the project. In this part is the API of Firebase for receive the database authentication in the other things. In this import, we initialize the Firebase config is this, and that's it. Okay, we see we go app component HTML. In this part, we see the structure of the page. Here, see the app navbar, the login in, and this is the label and the input respect the user. In this input, we have the user, the email, and this input, we have the password for validate the buttons. In this part, we have the functions ingresar and ingresar Google y logout. Okay, we go to the app component. In this part, we have import out service because it's necessary the authentication of the Firebase. And we see we have export the user is the email and password, and we have construct the private service because it's one necessary function for create queries and the other things. Okay, we have the function ingresar. In this part, we try the log with the email and password. And in this case, in this part, sorry, we check the input is similar the user in database. And we have a one mentioned in console is se logió. In case of problems with the connection or the user is incorrect, we have an alert where the credentials no validas, and it is the same thing with ingresar Google, but we have the login with Google, and the Firebase require the login and password and don't have problems. And this function, which is logged, because this function permit we see the user logged in the page in the navbar, and the logout is the function for give the user the app. Okay, we see out services. In this part, we see the same functions because in this part we import the libraries and we create the functions for the functionality of the app. In this, we have the connection with Firebase, and that's all. Okay, in this part we have the number. The only configuration is the ngif. We see the user login, and this is the email of the user. And that is all in this project. Thank you. And now this is the second part of my year project of the fifth quarter. My name is Osvaldo Gonzalo Roman, and we have a one group made in Angular connected with Firebase database. Okay, we have a few buttons. One is agregar jugador, editar, and eliminar. We have a one search of names, the players, and we have a one table. In this table, we have numbers of the users, names, and the decks where I have the name of the package of cards and the number of cards we have the user. Okay, start with add one player. The name of the player is Iris. We push the add deck, and we have the few numbers, and we put the la 45 dorada, and the number of cards is, I don't know, 60. Okay, I save, and here we have the user, and I have a one problem with the name or the decks. I could change the names or other things. In this moment we can edit. I don't, the user is no here is Arturo. The name La 45 Dorada, we change the La 45. The cards we have a 4 and we save. In this part, we see the changes and the new user. In one case, I want to eliminate one user. I can push the button eliminar and we have the alert. We want confirm and we push aceptar. Okay, the user has been eliminated of the group. And I want know how cards it have the John Pancho. Search this part. Okay, we have a John Pancho and we have a one deck of perritos with 30 cards. And we go to see the code. Okay. In this part, we have the folder of environment. We have the connection of Firebase using the API. And we have the main where I import all libraries of Firebase. And we started the service of the Firebase. Okay, we see the user list is the first page in the CRUD. In this part, we see the button of the root to navigate. It's under the add a new player. And we have from controller the searcher for search and find add one player anywhere. And the double when I have the players, and this function is the see the players at the table. In this part we have the numbers of the index of names and the player name and the deck name and the number of cards. We have the button to edit and delete. In the TypeScript, we import the libraries necessary to do this. We export the services and the players to all of the database. And this part is the search, the information of the players. And this part is the send to the page of edit and the confirm to the late one player, the database and the CRUD. We go to the user edit. This is the structure. We have a one form with the inputs and the buttons for change the information at the corresponding document. And we have the button to the update. In the TypeScript, we have the imports, the forms, and the tries the player services and tool. The create deck is for have the information text. And this is the have the information of the users in the input. And they update the information of tool. And this part is the update the player in the database, and we navigate to the first page. In user add, we have the structure is the same of the did in, but I have the function add, and really is the same. The changes is the button where we have the functional player. In the TypeScript, we can see the imports and the same function of the edit services. In this part, we add the player and inserting the database users in Firebase. Okay, it's tool, and we can see the commons, the player interface. This is necessary to see the information at so cute. And the services is to all function we use in the program. And this is used for connectedly for the Firebase. And we have the tool queries and our requirements tool. Okay, in the approach, we have we created a one app in the components standalone because it's so easy than the other modes, and we have easy access to their pages. And that's tool. This is the project. Uh, Change for tool and for listening.